Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and we talk about a lot of things on this show. We talk relationships, the dramas behind dating, and of course, sex. But we haven't taken a deep dive into kink. What exactly is it? Who has them? Do you? Do I? Well, I've got a couple people on the couch ready to discuss. They're experts in this arena. But first, I'm sending my girl Jen out on the streets to find out what other people think kinks are. Let's see what they have to say.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Hey, what's up, Carolina? It's your girl, Jen, and I'm out here in these streets talking to people asking, what are your kinks? Would you consider yourself kinky?
I guess, I want to be.
I like to be dominated, I won't lie.
Ooh,
that is one of my I'm a little bit of a sadist.
Okay. Why do you prefer
It's
that?
something about the masculinity of a man that just, when they
Okay.
hold you, take over you.
The
it's
stronghold.
good.
Huh?
Yeah,
I know that's
that
right.
good stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Like that turn me on,
That turn you on.
like
that,
getting my nipples sucked,
okay.
like, just coming from behind.
You better tell me, girl.
Yeah,
okay.
like that,
Okay,
yeah.
I like it. I can dig it. Do you have a kink?
Choking.
Is it, you like how it makes you feel?
Yes.
Okay.
The domination of it.
Okay.
I like that booty ache.
Okay, I like it. Okay.
I like my ear licked on, toes
Okay.
sucked.
Oh, I'm nice. Okay. What about you? You have any?
You gotta get that real good. You gotta eat it real good.
Get it right, huh? No penetration until
no.
you get it. What are your kinks?
I just like to be slutted out, you know?
Okay.
I like to be slutted out though. Like,
Let it out.
oh,
You learning something.
learning
Okay, see, that's why I needed you in the shot.
Yeah, I'm kinky.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Talk to me.
A woman seducing me without me asking. You go down there, grab that whatever you heard me, and suck them
That's
and I
kink.
don't even ask. You heard me
I
just
hear
do
you.
that.
Okay.
You looking at me? I like to do 69. If you don't do 69 with your lady, boy, oh my God, you lame as.
People are wild out in them streets. Jen, thank you so much. But let's bring it to the experts that I have here on the couch. We've got Candace Liger, also known as the Coach Feline. And you are a BDSM and kink educator, right?
Correct.
So perfect for this topic.
I'm here.
And we've got Hendrik Scott, a sex and relationship therapist with also some experience with clients coming in and sharing a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be called a kink-aware therapist.
Kink-aware therapist, exactly what I need.
Yeah, kink-friendly.
Kink friendly. Okay, so obviously the people on the streets, they have their opinions, but what exactly is kink?
Yeah, great question. Kink is, well, I want to think about what kink is as a lifestyle and kinks as like things that we enjoy.
Okay.
Yeah, so often BDSM and kink are used interchangeably.
Right.
And so the BDSM community, which BDSM stands for bondage, discipline, domination, submission, sadomasochism, is largely rooted in sort of like relational power dynamics in some ways, in a lot of ways actually. But with kink is kind of the overarching umbrella that BDSM sits in. And so these are all the things that we can imagine in our human creativity that offer us pleasure.
Oh.
Yeah.
When people think they're gonna be kinky, it's always like, oh, we're gonna be extra freaky, right?
Right.
We're
Yeah.
gonna do something a little extra in the bedroom. I got these toys at the random store, but they don't exactly know what their kink is, right?
Right, and it's so subjective because what is kinky to your grandma, like maybe a dildo and like doggy style,
Yeah.
for Gen Z, that's going to be boring and they're going to call it vanilla. So
Oh, you're saying
kinky,
generationally we are just getting more and more progressive in the bedroom?
it's just that what we're going to consider as a kink, because technically it's something that's supposed to be non-traditional in, sexual stimuli, if you need like technical, but it's just something non-traditional, but what's non-traditional? So really what's kinky
You're like
to
doggy
you,
style and dildo, that's old school now.
Yeah,
Like we all do
yeah.
it. Like that's no longer a kink, that's not freaky.
Right.
Yeah, you just said my grandma does that. I don't know how I feel about my grandma. Abuela.
That's a lot of thought.
This is way too many thoughts right there. Okay, so now we're just getting kinkier and kinkier with time. What is like the craziest thing you've heard?
let me think back on my kinky friends.
I got it.
And,
range of experiences here. So you can go kind of in the edgier realm where there may be like sharp objects involved. There may be like
knife play.
Knife play.
Knife play?
So that's playing with a knife, but not necessarily on the sharp side. There's so many ways to play with a knife, so that's a little edgy, right? A lot of people,
are we drawing blood here? Because I know there's a fetish around blood, so is that what that is?
Not necessarily. One of the most popular ways I actually see knife play being used is with candle wax. So during wax play, you drop the candle, right? The wax drops on the skin, and you can use the knife to scrape off the wax. It's not so much about what the knife is doing. It's about like what's happening between the brain and the body as you realize you have a knife somewhere near your body. So that's kind of the edgier. But that's not a 101 situation.
Yeah, that sounds like you've taken some steps to find that, right?
Taking a few steps. Yeah.
Right.
But then there's other kinks like scat play. That's probably some of the wildest stuff. Scat play can include like fluids. So that could be urine.
Scat, I'm imagining the scat song.
Yeah.
Not. So what exactly is body fluids? Are we talking spit? Are we talking semen? Are we talking?
Golden showers. Okay. Right. So that goes into the lane of human secretion waste materials. That's pee-pee and boo-boo.
Right.
Okay.
But we said the wildest. And this is
golden showers, the first time you're asked to pee on someone is wild. It's the wildest thing you've ever heard. And then, 10 times later, you're like, it's just Larry. He's fine. Like, no, I'm good. You go find somebody else,
Then you find out everybody you know has been peed on.
My partner asked me to pee on them before, and it was too weird for me at the time. I think if my husband asked me now, I'd be like, sure, babe. If that's what you need today. But are kink, fetish, and BDSM the same thing? Actually, don't answer that. I want you think about it because I know y'all are waiting to find out that answer, and we'll find out after the break. So stay right there. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking all things kink, and before we get the answer to what the difference is between a kink, a fetish, and BDSM, we decided Jen's having way too much fun, so let's make a game night out on the streets. So she's asking people to decipher whether it's a kink or a fetish.
Hey, what's up, Carolina? It's your girl, Jen, and you know where I'm at. I'm out here in these streets, and I'm asking the people, do they know the difference between a kink and a fetish? What is bondage? Is it a kink or a fetish?
It could go both ways, honestly.
Both ways.
It could go both ways, honestly.
But I would say more of a fetish.
Right.
More of a fetish.
Right.
Bondage.
He got it. It's a fetish, baby. Is cuckolding a fetish or a kink?
Neither. It's out of the box. It shouldn't happen.
Cuckolding. Have you heard of cuckolding?
Yeah, that's when your man watches you someone else, right?
Oh, yes. Okay. He knows the definition.
I don't know. Like that whole concept is just like really.
No, we just call people cooks all the time.
What is BDSM? Is it a kink or a fetish?
A kink. I feel like it's a spectrum. Everyone likes it.
Okay. What would you label it as, whether it's a kink or a fetish?
I feel like everyone likes that. I definitely think it's a kink because if it's a fetish, they would like look for it everywhere and be like, hey,
and guess what? That's right. It's a kink.
It's a kink. Like you like it or you don't.
All right.
If you don't, that's fine. But at the end of the day,
it's
like if it's a fetish and like you're obsessed with it, and you're like, we got to do this every time. I'm like, whoa, like calm down.
Honestly, I don't know the answer to these questions, so I'm gonna leave it to y'all. We've got Candace Liger, who is a BDSM and kink educator, and we have sex and relationship therapist Hendrik Scott. All right, so what is the difference between kink, fetish, and BDSM?
Kink is the umbrella term, much like consensual non-monogamy is the umbrella term for like swinging and polyamory and all the different types of open relationships. That's kink for the kinky behaviors, all of the behaviors that you do. So BDSM would be a kink. A fetish, say my looners. I love my looners. The people who have a balloon fetish, okay? They would be, like, to make it a fetish, it has to be that it is a necessity to have a balloon present for them to experience the state of arousal that they want to experience and, you know, possibly orgasm. But a kink would just be, I like balloons and I find them to be kinky, and like whenever they're around, I feel aroused and like it's hot, but it's not a necessity.
Right.
To achieve
orgasm or, you know,
or just like that
heightened
moment.
sensations.
It makes me think about like OnlyFans, like the fetish creators. They focus on like feet, or they focus on like popping balloons with their butt, or they focus on bubbles, or they focus on, or people may want content involving like their nose or ear, right? Like a fetish, almost having like this deep relationship to something like physical, but not quite maybe the person, the individual. Yeah.
Like the woman who married the Eiffel Tower. That's a fetish.
That was an Eiffel Tower fetish. That's big building fetish.
What? Okay, so hold on. So in that case, but that's in the kink world umbrella.
Right.
It's not a kink. It's a fetish because that's how she achieves
it can still be a
sexual arousal.
kink, and it's complicated, but it all matters on the context of, is it a necessity, makes it a fetish, and it can also be a kink
if you're just into it.
Just into it.
I think we all have kinks. I think it's part of just our sexual and erotic selves. I think the difference is that instead of focusing on maybe orgasm, penetration, procreation, or we're focusing on pleasure.
Is that the main thing for kink? Is like reaching some sort of pleasure?
A heightened state.
A heightened state of pleasure.
The most heightened sense of arousal that you can get. It's just being highly aroused. And it doesn't necessarily mean sexual, it just means all of your senses are turned on. We're so turned off from our world and our day-to-day because we wouldn't be able to survive with all the sensory stuff going on. It's just a moment to go, I want to experience being completely alive in all the senses.
With no destination necessarily.
Right.
Sometimes with one, but not necessarily.
Completely alive with no destination necessary.
Right.
Man, I really got to explore this kink world. Okay. And actually, a lot of people had some questions for this. So after the break, we're going to see what people said on social media, and we'll have Candace and Hendrix take a stab at it. And maybe you'll find out what my kinks are. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been talking kink, that whole umbrella term and everything that's in between. We've got Candace Leisure, a BDSM and kink educator, and we have Hendrix Scott, a sex and relationship therapist, taking me through all of this, and I think I finally kind of got it down. All right, so I posed the question on social media if anybody had any questions around kink and BDSM, and so let's see what they have to say, and if you play along, we'll answer them, right? Female cucks. Women who enjoy watching their man with other women. I assume he wants to know, or she wants to know, what exactly this is. And if this is normal, I don't know. Is female cucks a thing?
I'm sure that it is. It's more predominantly cuckolding for males to, with watching their wives have sex with men. Yes, there are female cucks out there. It's not so much that they're not out there, it's so much that it can be taken advantage of if you lead with that, like say on a date. I mean, they're gonna be all over it. I mean, even if you say you're bisexual to some heterosexual men, they're trying to use that sexual orientation to get them laid later on
with someone else.
You know, threesomes. Whenever that bisexual woman might be totally down for it, you just don't want to be used for it.
Right. But it is normal. Cuckolding is a normal kink. Is that a kink or a fetish?
I wouldn't call it normal, but it is an average kink. Like it's not out there. It's not the most out there thing.
Yeah,
it's not out there as in it's not crazy.
Right, and it depends which community that you're a part of, right? So there's kink community where like exchanging sexual partners may not be as much of a high priority as opposed to like a swinger community. A swinger community, they exchange partners all the time. That's where it can show up more predominantly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did a show on lifestyle.
That's where your women cuckolds are.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right, let's look at the next question. How do you get your partner to understand that kink and BDSM can help our sexual exploration?
I really like this question. I think one easy way that you can support that communication is by sharing how it's helped you personally, right? So I may not be able to get my partner to understand like why I have the kinks that I have, why my experiences like make me gravitate in this particular way, but what I can do is really nurture my own awareness as to like, you know, maybe I could discover where this came from. I could say, well, I probably like this because something happened and when I was 15 years old and all of a sudden it just changed my life, or I don't have to do that at all. I think one of the practices I really encourage is that we can have kinks, we can have things that provide us pleasure without necessarily going into like some trauma history, without necessarily trying to connect it to something else. Like pleasure is our inherent right. And so when we have conversations with our partners, we can just share our own experiences on how it's, you know, supported us, whether it's spiritually, physically, right, relationally, in very intimate ways.
Yes, to piggyback off of that soapbox issue, it is your responsibility to figure out what pleases you. People are waiting for their partner to go to therapy. They're waiting on their partner to go explore themselves. They're always just waiting on their partner to like give them permission. It is your body. You don't need permission to touch it. You don't need permission to explore it. It is you and it is your responsibility and no one else's.
Whoa, that's huge. You just like dropped a bomb on a lot of people right now, because I feel like a lot of people have very stagnant sex lives that they want more from, and so they're expecting their partner to come up with the solution or help come up with the solution. But if you know how to please yourself, if you know how to find your kink, your fetish or whatever, and then present it to your partner, like, listen, this is what gets me to that feel fully alive without a destination, then come along on this ride with me.
Come along.
I figured it out myself already, right? Oh gosh, that's awesome.
And it's paramount to being able to communicate with your partner. They don't know what you don't know. They don't know it if you don't know it.
Yeah, you better know it for them to know it.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna actually do an entire episode on introducing kinks into your relationship.
I would love that. That's great. That's great.
So y'all better stick around for that. All right, let's look at the next question. Oh my gosh, I want to know what you like. Of course, they want to know what I like. All right, well, listen, after the break, I did take a little test, and maybe Candace and Hendrix will help me figure out what it all means. Can you stay right there? We'll be right back with my kink results. Welcome back to the Nightcap. It's time to see my kinks, all right? We've got Candace Leisure and Hendrix Scott ready to look at my results and see what the hell they mean. This was a test that went viral on TikTok a couple years ago, and so I decided to take it to see what the hell is what. And this is the answers that resulted from the short version, just FYI. All right, let's see. At the very top, I've got experimentalist at an 84%, a rope bunny at a 72%, a switch, 71, then submissive, then non-monogamous.
Pretty good.
All right, what do we gather from this? Like, what exactly is an experimentalist?
You'll try it at least one time. You know, you'll test out the waters. Dip your toe in, dip your toe back out. Yeah, that's good stuff.
That's literally me.
Yeah.
I'll try anything once.
That makes sense. That tracks.
That tracks?
Yeah.
Literally, that's an experimentalist. Okay, I mean, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Rope bunny.
Rope bunny. Do you want to take this? Rope bunny is someone who likes to be tied. So whether that's with rope, bondage, like constricted so your body can't move. Rope bunnies are often folks who, you know, participate in shibari, whether that's on the floor or suspension, which is a form of rope art. Yeah, so you just like to be tied up into a nice little hug, possibly.
Into a hug. I mean, for the record, apparently I'm going to be doing something during this kink week involving rope, and I've never messed with rope, so.
Find this
apparently it tracks.
So coincidental.
Yeah, the experimentalist in you is thriving.
It's thriving.
It's thriving.
All right, what's the other one? It was switch. And see, it's weird to me that it says switch and submissive or switch above. Switch is somebody who can either be dominant or submissive.
Right. It just might mean you might prefer being a submissive maybe more than dominant. That doesn't mean in life.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what I'm definitely not, right?
All right.
So I'm definitely not an age player, 0%. I'm definitely not boy girl. What exactly is boy girl?
Yeah, it's kind of along the lines of age play in general. So it's like, you know, do you want to be daddy's good girl, right? And so you get rewards or.
Oh, is this their category for littles?
Yeah, this is how they do littles.
Okay.
Oh, there's daddy mommy at 6%. Degradee. What is degradee?
You don't want to be degraded.
You don't want to be degraded.
Oh no, yeah, don't.
It's clear. It's very clear.
Okay, yeah, no.
You're like, this
not.
is not on
I
my
attract
list.
degradees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't degrade me.
No, it's very clear.
All right, well, thank y'all so much for coming on and bringing me into the kink world and educating me, enlightening me. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us. And everyone go watch her TED Talk.
And thank you, and be safe and consensual out there.
Be safe and consensual.
101, start at the first step, okay?
There we go. All right, well, cheers to y'all. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We'll see you guys next time on Kink Week.